Hello everyone, today we are live for another Sunday night episode of News Flash. On today's show, we're going to be talking about the coronavirus again, of course. And by the way, I do apologize for the macabre title on this, but it's not a good news show, folks. Trump today saying the U.S. death toll could reach 100,000 at a Fox News town hall. We'll take a little piece by Elizabeth Bruning talking about maybe it's time for Democrats to consider a Plan B. We'll take a look at something. People, why are people praising George Bush online? I'm going to go a little bit of a mini rant about that. Also, America's billionaire class has been adding $282 billion to their total wealth in the past 23 days of the coronavirus crisis, the new report has claimed. Tickle the protest situation and how workers at Amazon, Whole Foods, Instacart, Target, more, what you can do to help them as they head to the picket line. So that is what we got on tap for you today. But we are of course starting with this Fox News town hall. He's Trump really in a really surreal moment decided to do a town hall in front of the Lincoln Memorial in a deserted scene in Washington D.C. President Trump on Sunday night, he said the death toll from the coronavirus pandemic ravaging the country may reach as high as 100,000 people in the United States, far higher than he had forecast just weeks ago, the expert Donald Trump. And it's just like, at this point, you really need to just, like, why are we even taking, like, this should be in my mind at least, I think you should too if you're listening to this, you should probably value his word, like, about as much as one of those people out there protesting in Michigan or any of these other states that are protesting. Like, it's just, that is the position, that is the mindset that he's coming from. It's coming, like, it is a partisan mindset. It's not a mindset of someone who's a leader of a country. It's not someone who's trying to push things forward. It's not someone who's like actively trying to make things right. It's someone who's trying to make himself look good from a completely partisan standpoint. And that is, I think that's how you got to take this guy's word at this point. Like, that is the only way to do it. There is no way to come out there and say possibly and accurately like that this is not, like, anything he said should be viewed through that angle, like, as a guy who's coming out there consistently trying to like make himself look better. That's all he's good for. That's it. Like, that's all he's good for. He says we're going to lose anywhere to from 75 to 80 to 100,000 people. He said in a virtual town hall on Fox News, that's a horrible thing. We shouldn't lose one person over this. And who's, like, literally, it's just so, I feel like this is boring to say this, but it's incredible. This guy, it's no ability whatsoever to in any way reflect, to in any way, like, pause and say, like, if there's something I could have done wrong from this, like, this it's almost inhuman. It's impossible. Like, this is a special type of brain that this guy has. That is, it's really on another level. Like, you have like apocalyptic style pandemic. People are dying. Like, people, like, the food lines in New York City are stretching, like, 3-4 blocks. Like, this is a crisis situation, and the ball has been dropped in a way that's just unprecedented. It's really incredible. And it's not like Trump has been the only person dropping the ball, but, I mean, it's a lot of it, like, the federal government response has just been absolutely atrocious. And yeah, so Trump acknowledged that he was warned about the coronavirus in his regular intelligence briefings on January 23rd, but asserted the information was characterized as if it was, quote, not a big deal. Yeah. So January 23rd, that was probably the only time he was warned about it. Nobody could, like, there was no way anyone else could get through to him. Like, there was no way that anyone else could, like, there's no way anyone else could say that this is becoming a bigger deal. Like, that never happened. Like, are we really that stupid that we expect, they just told them about this once on January 23rd and then that was that? Like, no. Like, he was probably warned about this again repeatedly, and it was like, let's not talk about it. Like, it's not that bad, right? Like, we'll put it past us. We'll put it past us. Like, it's not gonna be that big a deal. We'll work through it. It's gonna be all right. Oh, don't worry. And then it gets a big deal, and, like, we're already trying to reopen the country again. It's ridiculous. It's infuriating. Like, why are none of our leaders in any party good? Like, on one hand, we have Donald Trump, and on the other hand, we have two leaders, for example, in New York, Bill de Blasio and Andrew Cuomo, who can't stop fighting with each other, who are focused on like appearing as woke as possible and making cool PowerPoints to actually do anything. Like, there is no good leaders. Like, I am not being ruled by anyone competent right now. It's so infuriating. It's like, I can't even believe this. Like, how is this happening? Like, oh, why can't I just been born in New Zealand? Oh my God. It's unbelievable. I just had to get that out there. But like, I mean, it's not necessarily me. Like, I'm fine. but the people who are out there, like, risking their lives or trying to keep their family alive, like, that is just, it's really tough. Like, and then you turn on the news, you see people who have just, who are just, like, fighting among themselves, or who are, like, focused on, like, to make a good PowerPoint and make a good art display of a big pile of high masks. Like, it's been an embarrassment. Like, every facet of the United States response, has been pretty much relative embarrassment, except for a few states. Like, for example, like Ohio has been pretty good. I know Vermont's been pretty good. They've gotten under control. But a lot, the stupidity of the United States government, and in both parties, really. Like, if you look at what's happening in my state, New York, in both parties, has just been incredible. Yeah, so he then obviously continued to bring up his fact that he stopped the ban, or stopped people coming in from China. It was like, I did that, but most of the people came from Europe anyway. Like, and there's new reporting, obviously, that says really what any person with a functioning brain knew all along. He just saw an excuse to stop people from coming in the country from a race that he didn't feel comfortable with. Was like, yes, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Like, this was not about protecting the American people. This was about curtailing immigration. Like, any excuse that this administration can take to curtail people entering the country, that's something that they will gladly do and celebrate and take the opportunity to any time, even if it doesn't even affect. Like, they're just looking for an excuse is what they're doing. They're not trying to ban people from Italy. They're not trying to ban, at the time where the coronavirus is the strongest, they're not trying to ban people from there. Like, it is about trying to shut people down from coming to the country. It's not about protecting the American people. They could not care less about protecting the American people. They just couldn't. And it can't be more apparent. It's really pretty. He says his travel limit was not driven by the January 23rd warning, quote, I didn't do it because of what they said. They said it very matter-of-factly. It wasn't a big deal. Yeah, I mean, they're intelligence robots. Like, nothing, they're not going to come in shouting like, the coronavirus is coming, Mr. Trump. We need your help. No, like, that's not who they are. But he's just too, like, someone has to be like, this is a really big deal, Donald, to get him to actually, like, the sensors in his slow brain to turn on and be like, oh yeah, we got to do something about this. Like, that's apparently what it takes. It's apparently what it takes. Like, yeah. So during the Fox broadcast, the Vice President Joe Biden, Democrat who was obviously challenging Trump in this year's presidential election, he posted a short campaign video on social media criticizing the incumbent's leadership during the pandemic. Quote, Donald Trump thought the job was about tweets or rallies and big parades. So he never thought he'd have to protect nearly 330 million Americans, so he didn't. Also during the town hall, VP Mike Pence acknowledged the criticism he faced when he did not wear a mask to a visit Tuesday in the Mayo Clinic. So pretty much, for those of you who don't know, quick background here, the Mayo Clinic is obviously one of the top hospitals in the country. They have a policy there, wear a mask if you want to come in. Literally everyone was wearing a mask. Mike Pence was not, for some reason. He maybe thought it was just like, he appeared to be too cool. I didn't think it was necessary, but I should have worn a mask during the Mayo Clinic. Like, they literally told you time and time again, you need to wear a mask. Like, it's that simple. He's like, please wear a mask. No. Like, and of course, no explanation. No reason why I didn't need, like, is he Superman? Like, just a giant middle finger to the healthcare professionals that you have to respect, but you claim to respect and admire, like all these frontline workers. Yay, thank you, frontline workers. But also, screw you, frontline workers. I'm going to endanger you and everyone else I come into contact with. We're going to hospital, a big group of sick people where I'm not wearing a single mask. I'm not, because I'm Mike Pence. I get tested a lot because I'm vice president. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So also a new website was set up by the city of LA for residents to get tested for coronavirus regardless of whether they have symptoms or not. Very good. Talked about this on the show last time. It was a good development, great thing to see. But what do you know? Some of the residents have complained on social media. There was no time slots available on the website, which states that testing is available by appointment only with priority given to frontline workers and people with symptoms of COVID-19, the illness caused by the virus. So the tests are free for all residents of LA, which is collaborating with the city on the effort. Other people have said they were unable to access the website, which requires visitors to give their name, address, date of birth, gender, race, or ethnicity on an intake form. If testing slots are booked when you visit the site, we encourage you to revisit the site later in the day for slots that may have been reopened due to no-shows. The city said in a Twitter post Saturday night. So there's obviously some growing pains on that, but at least they have the capacity to test everyone. Like, at least they have figured that out at this point, but no luck thus far here on the East Coast. I haven't actually heard of anyone else doing that really as effectively yet. So, yeah. Here's another interesting one. J. Crew, the mass market clothing company whose preppy with a twist products have been worn by Michelle Obama and appeared at the New York Fashion Week, is expected to file for bankruptcy protection as soon as Monday. It'd be the first major retailer to do so during the coronavirus pandemic. But we also unfortunately have big industry names like Neiman Marcus and JCPenney struggling due to the devastating toll of mass shutdowns. So they've been in negotiations trying to figure that out. The White House also wants to, quote, apparently wait and see before considering more economic aid because they just can't figure out really how to give more money to corporations, more bailouts to corporations, like, because it's that radical. Like what they're doing is like we really have to give more to people now, but yeah, let's wait and see. Like there's not a pandemic going on. Like, we're in kind of a wait and see situation right now. Just it's chill right now. Larry Kudlow, President Trump's top economic advisor, said the administration was in no rush to push forward with another financial aid package. So the government was in a pause period right now. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. This is why I named the show what I did. The government is in a pause period during a global pandemic and crisis where people are fighting for their lives. What? Like, what am I supposed to say to this? I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I don't know how to break this down. Like, I'm just at a loss. I'm at an absolute loss. Yeah, so he spoke on State of the Union and said the administration wants to see how trillions of dollars already allocated are working before the government pushes anything more out the door. It's a huge, huge package. Let's see how it's doing as we gradually reopen the economy. Like, we know where the profits are going. We know what the effect will have. We don't have to wait and see because the government put money in certain spots in certain situations for a reason. Like, we know how this plays out. We know what the plan is. We know like what we're doing with this money, and most of it, large portions of it are going to trickling up. Like they're trickling up. Like they're going. The money is flowing. The money is flowing up and trickling down, I should say, in a big way. More than $175 billion in loans have been allocated to a small business program in the last aid package. They have already been issued, and the small business part of that, the small part of the small businesses so far have been heavily suspect. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and the head of the Small Business Association, Jovita Carranza, said in a statement on Sunday, the second round of lending on the program and more than $310 billion